Well, no, we didn't start the
Wait
meeting
till we
yet.
get to public comment.
Okay.
Should we take off?
All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Simons,
Here?
Mr. Boda,
Here.
Mr. Patalas.
Yes, here.
Mr. Horn,
Here.
Mr. Knotts,
Here.
Mr. Blackstock.
Here.
Graham here.
Okay, pledge of allegiance. Guess we'll do it again.
Do it again? Sure.
We're on TV now.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on, we have the approval of the agenda. I would like to add the 2014 tax rate request, which you have in front of you. And I'd also like to add the delinquent water bills. So we'll put those down for 6, under new business will be the tax request. And 7 will be the water bills, delinquent water bills.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda as amended.
I'll support. It's been moved and supported. Do we have any other further discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next we have the approval of the minutes of October 20th of 2014.
If there's no corrections on the minutes, I'd make a motion that we approve the minutes of October the 20th of 2014.
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported that we approve the minutes as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to public comment. Anybody in the audience that'd like to cover anything that's not on the agenda? State your name and your address. Yep, thank you.
That's good.
James Lalonde at 2182 Bell River Road, East China. I'm here because I don't come to these meetings. I mean, you know I don't come because you don't see me. But I noticed when I came in today to drop off my absentee, the announcement of the budget meeting today, or the proposed tax possible increase, and that's why I came. But I apparently missed that session as well. So can someone tell me, how does an individual like myself find out about these sessions in advance, other than me just dropping in unexpectedly here at the township?
We have it every year at about this time of the year, and we
The budget, that is.
publicize that on the, it was in the paper and it was also on the door,
It's in the paper as well, so,
Yep.
so it'd be in the Voice,
like the week before,
the
2
week
weeks
before the Voice, in the Voice or the Times Herald?
The Voice,
The Voice, all right.
yeah.
But it's not on the website.
I don't believe it's on the website, but we can put it on there.
Because I went home and looked on the web and see if there was
Yeah, that's,
notification on the web, and that,
yeah, we can put it on there. I'll tell you what, in essence,
Was it on Channel 6?
what's that?
Was it on Channel 6?
I don't know if it was on Channel 6.
no, it wasn't.
No, I don't think it was.
No, it went on Channel
I
6.
think we
wasn't it?
just, we're obligated to put it in the newspaper and
Right.
post it on the bulletin board up there, which we use as a front
Okay.
door.
Now, if you are getting the newsletter by way of the internet, is it going to be on there?
No, we can try put it on there. So you're saying the web?
Well, the newsletter is on the
Yeah, but that only,
the newsletter should be you should be able to download
yeah,
the
but I
newsletter.
don't know if we would have that. We only do what, one newsletter or two newsletters a year? So we're gonna have the whole agenda for the whole
Oh,
year.
well, no.
It might be more than we wanna read, you know?
I see.
I like your idea of putting it on the web, and we can put it on Channel 6, like Mr. Voda said.
Okay, all right. All right, so I was just curious how this all gets around and people get to know what you're thinking of doing and maybe not doing, so.
Well, I can give you a little, and there's packages back there that have the whole budget there.
Okay,
In essence, we're going down
you're going down on the taxes.
.1284,
Wow.
about a little better than a tenth of a mil.
I was ready to call the neighbors and tell them that you were gonna talk about raising the millage.
Well, the millage could be going up, but our portion, East China's, which we can only go 5 mils to operate the township, and we're at 4.35. So, we're well underneath our 5 mils that we can go, but I'm saying the taxes could go up by the county or the state.
Right.
You know, or the schools.
Right,
You know, the school, if that school millage passes for the busing, that's
Exactly.
gonna increase your
exactly,
taxes.
exactly, and that's
But I'm saying East China's portion is gonna go
down,
a tenth of a mil, which is a
Right.
lot of money,
yeah,
a tenth of a mil. Last year, we raised it, 6/10 of a mil, because we had that half a mil, bonding for the sewer plant. And we raised it a tenth of a mil, so
Is this yours or mine?
in essence, we're down this year. I mean,
right, if people knew this was going down, they might pass that millage for the school buses now, but,
well, we don't have, well, that would be up to the people to vote that
right,
in
exactly.
to the schools, not us.
But if they understood that the millage for their property's going down, they would, yeah,
Right, but
but,
then hopefully we
That's-
hope the property valuation is going up too,
exactly,
you know, so-
right. All right, so you've answered my question, and I'll look on the web for the next,
Right,
and as well as this, and I'm happy to hear you're going down 1.28.
yeah.
Thank you much.
Thank you for
Thank you,
coming.
Jim.
Appreciate- I'll
Come
be,
more often.
I'll stick around and see
All
how
right.
this goes.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, moving on. Anybody else want to speak? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which is C1, October 14th, 2014 Planning Commission Public Hearing and Regular Meeting Minutes. C2 is the October 8th Park Commission Minutes.
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we accept the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, we have disbursements. We have bills of $460,849.31. We have a payroll of $21,028.83. We have ACH payments of $44,664.43 for a total disbursement of $526,542.57.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills in the amount of $526,542.57.
I'll support.
Been moved and supported that we pay the bills. The sum of $526,542.57. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blackstock.
Yes.
Mr. Boda.
Yes,
Mr. Patsalis.
Yes.
Mr. Horn.
Yes,
Mr. Knotts.
Yes.
Cram, yes. Mr. Simons.
Yes, motion carries. We pay the bills. Moving on to new business, we have the approval for a special land use as recommended by the Planning Commission. It should be in your packet there.
Larry, is this C1 in the consent agenda?
Yeah, I believe it is,
It
yep,
is, okay.
yep.
Well, she made a second copy, NB1, and highlighted it all in yellow,
Right.
the specific part. It's this one with the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, got it.
And then you have the whole thing there, and then we have people in the audience that will answer all our questions, hopefully.
Oh, do we do?
You do, right here.
Good. When's it going up?
Would you go up to the podium, please? So we can,
Given you get the approval, when's it going up?
Probably not until the spring, because we're going into the winter now, so they don't really like to start construction during the winter months, and then you have the frost laws that'll go in. They probably will not lift until March, and so they probably won't start construction until March, April.
and of this special land use request, you can see in our highlighted that you have to do the performance guarantee to be deposited with the township as security. There's certain things you have to do yet.
Yes, yes.
So I think what we're doing is we're granting the request for the special land use by recommendation of the planning commission. And I also have I sent it to our attorney. He read it. Says, I've reviewed the lease and recommend that the board enter into a lease agreement. Key 6.
When would the lease start, since it's not constructed yet?
It starts the day that they put a shovel in the ground to start construction. Verizon sends the township out a commencement letter, which basically says we started construction on this day. You guys agree to the commencement date, and then the payments will start.
Okay, thank you.
And just as additional information, usually what happens with the first payment is Verizon usually likes to pay by automatic deposit. So the payments will go directly into the township's bank account if that's the way that the township would like to receive the payments, or else you can get a check, but they prefer to do auto deposit. And that auto deposit usually starts 45 days after the start of construction, because that's how long it takes to kind of get into the system, get through the banking cycles to get the money into the account.
It said a 10% increase per term. How long is the term?
5 years.
5 years?
It's quite an extensive lease agreement.
Yeah.
Number 3 is your term rental, 5 years.
5 years, yeah, okay, there it is. I have no further questions, unless somebody else has one. I will make a motion that we grant the special land use request as described by the planning commission.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we grant the lease, and also, I guess we should put in there, grant the supervisor the permission to sign the lease.
Yes, please.
Well, the lease is number 4, right, on the new business? Right now, we're just doing
Oh,
the
okay.
land use.
All right.
Yeah,
this is
I
land
thought
use,
this
okay.
was just
All right, yeah, you're
for the,
correct.
just for the special land use request.
Yeah, this is just a special land use. Okay. It's been moved and supported to allow the special land use. Any further discussion?
We need one here, Larry, because we get a lot of jumping over to Canada.
Yes.
And this will really help it.
Good. Will that help us?
Yes.
I hope so. Every time
Somewhat.
I turn on my Motorola, I get Rogers.
Yeah.
Just give
A
up.
lot of interference.
Okay, if no other discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the Park Wood. We discussed this a little bit. I don't know if we want to act on it or what we want to do with this wood in the future. We have a pile over there right now. Do we want to just continue to get rid of it like we have been? Or do we want to set a policy or?
Larry, why don't we just give it to the residents if they waive the liability in case they get hurt over there taking it out?
But how do you
How
divide
do
it?
you,
residents-
who's
let the
gonna
residents
control
take
it?
it.
Who's gonna control
divide
it? That's my big thing. Who's gonna manage it?
Buy me a log splitter and I'll settle it for $10.
I mean, we've got some right now. I mean, maybe there won't be much in the future. I don't know. The park went through and cut. They hired a contractor to cut it, and we just piled it up there by the blockhouse there. I don't, it's fine with me if that's what you wanna do. Let residents try it and see what, I just don't want no
As long as they
fighting and
don't-
bickering
As long
about
as
it.
they don't make a mess out of it.
How you gonna,
I think we're more concerned about the attitude to get over there about, that's,
yeah, how much do they take, and
How much
who
do they
takes
have?
what, and.
Where would you store it? Just right at the park, and whoever wants to drive up, just drive up and take some? Is that what we're saying?
Well, it's in big logs, they're like 15-foot long, and
They'll have to cut it up.
So now we're gonna have residents with chainsaws and stuff in the park trying to cut up the wood? I'm thinking no, I'm thinking this is no.
We'll be
No.
fighting with it.
Larry, I
That's
had
my log.
I had a tree taken out, and part of the agreement I had with the guy, I had a professional company do it. Part of the agreement I had was, they gave me a discount if I would let them take the wood, rather than keeping it. So I'm wondering if we really wanna get rid of it, we could call one of these companies like Timbers or whoever's around, and tell them they can have the wood for the cost of, for free if they haul it off, if you wanna get rid of it.
That would probably be the easiest way to do it.
Or we can sell it as a pile.
Yeah.
Or you could sell it, Rob.
Yeah, it goes for about $55 or $60 a
Well,
face.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not made, it's
Yeah.
not
It's
split.
not a lot of money.
So, I mean, it's not like we're gonna split and pile it for them,
I would be a little concerned, like the clerk here, about residents with power saws in
Somebody
the
got
park.
hurt
I
over
mean,
there.
it probably would be okay, but, then
Yeah,
again, there's
big
always a
chainsaw
township
massacre,
liability.
I mean,
But then again, and it's how, like Larry had said, who's gonna manage that? Who's gonna pick who takes it?
In the past, we've let our employees take it. That's not such a bad option either, but.
as far as I'm concerned, I'll leave it at that.
Well, you want me to see if I can come up with some kind of, written statement that, how we disperse of it and bring it back at the next meeting? Either bid it or, I don't know. I mean, it isn't something we're gonna have all the time, but we have some now, or we can just let it sit there and rot, do that.
Well, I'd rather have the employees take it than
Yeah.
do that.
I would rather see,
Somebody get you
I would rather
signing.
see either residents of East China or employees take it. I mean, I would hate to just see it rot or just let it
Well,
open
maybe
for
we can
everybody
draw
else.
up something that if a resident comes in, they get to take so much of it, and they have to coordinate with the office and the DPW and the park manager, and, make it so it's not just open the door
Right.
and,
Yeah,
Why don't you offer it to the employees first, see how much you got left when they get done?
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
I like that.
I can do that. So we don't need no other action on that, then, we'll just offer it to the employees and see what's done. Okay, moving on, we have accounts payable bookkeeping position. Clerk Graham?
Okay, we had 14 or 15 resumes that came in. Sandy and I went through them all, picked the people that we wanted to interview. We invited Sharon to participate, and she was unavailable to do that. We interviewed 4 people and then did a second, phone interview with the 2 we were considering, and Sandy and I both agreed that we wanted to offer the position to Corinne Garwood.
She was here before.
She's worked here before, right, so she knows the office and who does what and how things work. It's a part-time position. She's part-time in China right now, and for a little while, she's gonna be part-time, she's gonna do both. So she got with Sandy and worked out the hours that she's available for what we need. We said, this is what we're gonna need, and if you can do those hours, and she agreed. So that's our recommendation.
She worked out good when she was here before.
Right, yeah, the other girl that we were thinking about also worked at China, but we went with Corinne.
Corinne worked here a couple of years ago. They were satisfied with her.
She's up to date
She
on our
was a-
software.
Yeah, she
She was a
uses
BSNA,
BSNA now.
Correct.
She knows the BSNA down by
Why did you leave?
her. You want a motion on that?
Does anybody know why she left? We had her before, why did she leave?
My
Because nothing has
understanding of it-
changed in the office, so.
Right, no, my understanding before was that she was here doing something part-time,
She was
catching something up.
Utility water billing, that's what she was working on.
Yeah, she
before.
was part-time.
Right.
And she was pretty much getting caught up. That was when Teresa was here and was way behind. We had her for 6 months. I think that's what we approved, and she left 6 weeks early.
Okay.
Yeah, we did discuss the situation. She knows what she's coming into, and,
Okay.
because before I offered her the position, we had a long conversation about that to make sure she understood,
Okay,
you know.
Now, is this
that's
a
where I was
trial-
going.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Is there a trial period, or is this, like 90 days, or?
I would think for a part-time position, that
Yeah,
it's not, that's not necessary.
yeah, it's part-time.
You're part-time.
Okay, and then that's with the,
All right.
what were the benefits that we were giving her?
I don't actually have that piece of paper with me. It was like 2 personal days a year and a couple of sick days, I think they get a month. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I don't know if I have that one.
it was in the package that we had there when we made the motion to look for one, yeah. Okay,
The paid holidays, if they're scheduled to work on that day, 1 sick day up to 3 per year, and a personal day up to 2 per year. Is what plus the wage,
which was 15, was it?
15 to start, yep,
That's 20 hours a week, 15.
correct.
Could be used more if we need her.
Well, right at the beginning, she'll be working both, so, she's pretty set on her schedule, but she worked with the hours we wanted first, and then
Okay, and
we
Is there
we
any
picked our
pro-
days and times.
Is there any problem with if you wanted her to work a greater number of hours, that we would get involved with healthcare?
We'd have to get over 30 before that would happen.
Well, we've either got to watch that, or we've got to talk about healthcare as a Benny.
How many hours do you think right now, Dee?
We're having her do 20 to
20?
start, and I'm thinking that what we're asking her to do, I don't think it'll take the full 20 hours, so we're hoping to either be a little less than that, or to be able to add more to her list of things to do. But to start,
We're at
you know,
20 hours.
till she's, you know, familiar with how everything is done here and how it needs to be done and coded, and then I figure it's gonna, you know, be a learning curve to start. Then once she's doing it and, you know, making it her own process, I imagine the time will get shorter.
And she does know the software, the BS?
Yes.
She knows
Yeah,
that?
she
Okay.
uses that right now.
when did you want to start time at?
I'm hoping to have her, she wanted to give her 2 weeks' notice. Well, they already know, and she's not leaving. But we were hoping to have her come in and start on the 17th. That gives time for I don't even know if we have to do it all again. It depends how long it's been since she was here, but the background check and fingerprinting and all that stuff you have to do.
Yeah, well, we
so.
do that, yeah. So is there,
I can make a motion, is there a motion on that? I make a motion that, the township take and hire Corrine Garwood
correct,
as, in the office, part-time, 20 hours a week at $15 an hour, with a proposed start date of the 17th of November.
I'll support.
okay, it's been moved and supported that we hire Corinne Garwood as our accounts payable bookkeeping position and related duties. Is there any further discussion on this?
I'm wondering, you might, again, to have some flexibility, as this clerk was talking about, whether she wants to do up to 15 or 20 or 22, you might want to amend that to say less than 28 or something like that. And let the clerk have the flexibility, knowing that we're aiming for 20, but she doesn't
Yeah.
know exactly where you want to go yet.
And also with this position,
I don't know.
we
Other than
want that
I don't-
person, if we're short in the office, if somebody's off, maybe we might want her to spend a few more hours a day, on a certain day if
I
we
wouldn't
have
want-
two
I
off.
wouldn't want
we
it to
might
go over
need-
30, though.
Yeah,
Or I wouldn't even get in near 30, in fact.
so you
Do we-
want to,
Do we want to authorize them to do something more at the clerk's discretion up to a certain level? That's what I was getting at.
Well, a certain level's gotta be under 30 hours.
well, he said like, keep it under 28.
You don't want
28.
to touch 30.
20 being the
Nominal.
target, but if we
Right.
wanted her more, we could have her up to 28.
Okay.
Is that all right? You want to put that in your motion?
I can do that. That was Mr. Boda's motion.
Oh, Mr. Boda's
As
motion.
long as he's fine with that.
Do you want to do
No
that?
problem.
Instead of the 20, be 20, but up to 28. Okay. At the clerk's discretion. Everybody clear on that? Yep. Okay, let's do a roll call, please.
Mr. Blackstock.
Yes.
Mr. Knotts.
Yes.
Mr. Horn.
Yes.
Mr. Patsalis.
Yes.
Mr. Boda.
Yes,
Mr. Simons.
Yes?
Graham, yes.
Okay, motion carries. We offer Corinne the job. All right, moving on to the land lease for Springborn Road Cell Tower, $1,000 per month.
I'll make a motion that we enter an agreement, and give the supervisor authority to sign, our lease for the Springborn Road Cell Tower for $1,000 per month with Verizon.
I'll support that motion.
Oh, he's waving. To start?
Why do we have 1,000? Can we go for 12?
If we're gonna change it, might as well.
How about 1,200?
I like that 1,100, that's fine.
All right,
I'll go along with that.
I'll rescind that to 1,100.
Okay.
$1,100 a month.
I like that.
Like, yeah, we don't get too many people too often coming in and saying that. Usually they go back and say, we got them for 1,000, they wanted
They
it.
wanna go the other way.
Good idea.
Yeah, it'll probably be in the one I got on my desk.
We can talk about 12 before you.
This is just the copy that we had from before. I didn't copy that one with all the tags on it.
This is last, no.
Okay, that was a motion by Mr. Pascal.
Yeah.
Who seconded it?
Horn.
And seconded by Mr. Horn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're all set.
Just gotta get your other things. And you got until March to do that, huh, before the ground.
The 1,200 is still open,
Are
by
you
the
doing
way.
the tower at the River District Hospital? I didn't even know it was down till I questioned it.
Yeah, I went over with the assessor to give you a new address over there.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, next we have item number 5 is a DPW truck. I put that on there. I mentioned several weeks ago that I think we should be buying some vehicles. We have one '08 and the rest are '06, '05s, '04s, '01s, '99s. We've got some old vehicles. What I did is I made a few phone calls. I checked with St. Clair Chevy. I checked with the Michigan, through the state of Michigan plan and through the Oakland County Co-op, which is equivalent to the Michigan plan. I sat down with a couple of these people and we drew up the options that we would want on a truck. So I gave those options to both people and they bid them. The one didn't come sealed. This one is sealed. I haven't opened it. I don't know, maybe I'm way ahead of the curve here by getting these quotes already. But the thing is, if we don't act relatively quick on this, we won't have the truck until March. And this truck has got a snowplow on it. All I'm saying is they have one down there in stock. The other ones, it's gonna take time to get it.
Larry, are they gonna take one in as a trade-in?
We weren't going to, no. If nothing else, we'd probably either sell it outright or hand it down to either the water plant or the sewer plant. The truck at the sewer plant's in pretty rough shape. It's like a '99 dump truck, and we just put a lot of money into the brakes. Does everybody, I don't have to act on these now. Do you people want a copy of the specs that I bid out? I didn't bid Fords. They say they don't want Fords. So we only bid GMs. GMCs is what we bid. I have 2 of them. And I can show you this one. This is the one that he emailed me, this bid. And it's for a 3/4 ton Chevy, 4x4, 2500 HD with, it's got a Western V plow on it, it's got a LED light bar, and it's got the Rhino bed liner. The rest of the stuff is pretty much standard in the truck. It's got the trailer towing package. I should have brought the whole package, but I didn't bring but if you want me to get more, I can get more. I haven't opened this one from St. Clair Chevy. We can keep that.
What about,
As far as paying for it,
Chrysler dealership,
the what?
Chrysler dealership, the Dodge.
Yeah, I can go get a Dodge. We have Dodges too. As far as the money for the truck, we have a vehicle replacement fund, which we have a substantial amount of money in it. We haven't bought anything. I don't know why we haven't bought any vehicles. I mean, we need some other equipment too in the DPW, and that's what, when our equipment goes out, we charge a rent fee to whatever department they have to pay, and that goes into that fund. So I don't know, how do you wanna do it? So it's the first vehicle that I've looked at buying.
The reason I ask you about a trade-in is because they're allowing very good deals on trade-ins.
The one truck we'd like to get rid of is the Ford, and it's got a mechanic's box on it, you know, it doesn't have a pickup box on it. We bought it in '06. It doesn't have a lot of miles on it, but the box is, you know, the box needs some work on it. So,
I think if the vehicle that we're trading in is a decent vehicle, you could get something for the trade-in, but if you're talking about trading in like the 99 or something like that, I know a lot of dealerships, they gotta send that to auction, so
they're
they're
gonna
just
give you
giving you.
$1,000 and
Right, they're just gonna give you whatever they can get at auction, and sometimes it's not even worth that. So if it's an older vehicle, I would say let's sell it outright. But if it's a newer vehicle that's in pretty good shape, I think we could get a decent trade-in for
Oh,
it.
yes.
no, we can
Especially
try
if you're
it.
bidding it out, I'm sure they're gonna, they'll give us something more for, you know, for a trade-in. If you're talking an '06, I think it's worth a trade-in. If you're talking the 99, I'd say I don't think
Yeah,
that's.
that's
Well,
all.
the only thing, if we don't act on this within the next week or two, I'm afraid we won't get a truck until March, is what they're telling me. But,
Is that
Is
a
it-
problem,
what's that?
not getting one till March? Is that a
Well,
problem?
we're getting another, a snow plow. We only have one plow now. And if we lose that '06 pickup with, you know, how many, close to 100,000 miles on it, you know, if that goes down, then we don't have no way to plow, but, I mean, we can always,
Well, it sounds like we need another truck. Maybe what you ought to do is get 3 bids and bring them to the next meeting and we'll pick one.
Yeah. Yeah,
If that works for you.
And ask them what the
That's just the way we
trade-in,
normally do.
ask them if they'll
ask
take
them
that.
what the price would be with the trade-in, what it would be without a trade-in. If they give us, you know, with the '06, what it would be to get it with the trade-in if we don't have
But
it.
as far as the bidding on this, it's pretty, when you go through the state contract, it's pretty much cut and dried. You know, it's not like we're going, buying from dealer to dealer. But
Right.
there's a little bit of difference, I'm sure. I don't know what the other price is, but
So, but both of these numbers, private dealers purchase through the state program.
correct. Right. But some do it better than others, I mean. All right, I'll continue to work on that then. And I mean, but are we agreeable that we need to buy another truck? or-
Yep.
And, I don't know how I've been on the board since we bought trucks, but I can't remember how we exactly did it. Just get 3 quotes and then open them up. Mr. Boda said he wants a Chrysler.
I don't say I want, I say don't check with them.
Just out of curiosity.
After I worked
why-
at GM for
That's
35
what I'm
years.
getting at.
Just out of curiosity, why no Ford products? I mean, is it a performance issue? I mean,
They just, when we have 2
Put her out
Fords.
for bids, huh?
I'm just thinking, you know, to try to
Well, you're
get
gonna
the
be all
lowest
over the
price
map.
possible.
You start bidding, but I can do that. We'll just have to do that then. I'll keep these or they can,
Just out of curiosity, how do you wanna do it?
I think we should get a couple, 3 bids like Angelo said and pick one.
Okay.
Pick the lowest bid.
Sounds good to me.
As long as they all have the same equipment on
Okay.
them, correct?
But I mean, I only have 2 here right now, so if we wanna get a 3rd one, I'll have to find another. But I mean, to me, if you're gonna buy something like that, you should be shopping apples with apples. You know, as far as, if you're gonna go Chevys or GM, or if you're gonna go Ford, I think that'll be a decision, the board wants to make that decision, whether we go Chevy or Chrysler or GM.
I don't think you're gonna be able to compare apples to apples if you go with Ford, Chevy, and
As long as-
GM.
and
Because you're
all
gonna
you
get what's
can
on
do
the
is-
lot.
Yeah, and all you can do is put down the equipment that's required that you need, and tell them, you know, That's, yeah, tell them, try and compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges, and let's just see how good they look.
Okay.
Get
I mean,
price.
what are we specifying? Four-wheel drive, it's gotta have a plow on it?
Oh, yeah,
it's
there's
gotta-
there's 4 pages of specs in it. But a lot of it, when you buy a certain package, we're just getting a truck with a rubber floor in it, you know, it's not carpeted or anything like that. Doesn't have Bluetooth, it doesn't have.
No, it's just the one corporation that has one package and the other corporation has another package, basically for the same thing, but there's 3 different things.
What I
But
call
you
this
say you
deal
have a
that I,
package that went out, you give it to the guys and they match it as best they can, and we have to make a decision with what they come back
these
with.
companies, like this one here, they sell these packages to municipalities. They have a municipality branch in their dealership.
Okay?
It just sells to municipalities.
One of mine's 4
So-
years old, and they'll
They pretty much know what, and I talked to our DPW supervisor on what he wanted, and then he agreed, once they got the package, cause if you get the trailer towing, it'll tow 10,000 pounds, you know, you get the double batteries, you get the brakes on it,
Yeah, they come
So
pretty
there's-
well equipped.
a lot of different things, so. All right, I'll try to narrow it down a little closer.
Well, it looks to me like you've already got 2 quotes, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
2 proposals. Are those 2 proposals based on your
On the
package?
same vehicle, they were both based on the same vehicle,
Based on our requirements.
on what we need, yep. I mean, if you wanna do it now, we can do it now, or I can get more,
I get a couple more, not one at least.
one more.
Try to take local dealers and.
Yeah, if you want it
they
for the
can-
winter, you
or
better
if-
get
That is a local dealer,
Yeah,
Chevy.
I'm just saying, but the fund comes from an area outside the area, and it's a heck of a good price. We wanna go with something like that, and not worry about being local.
Winter's just around the corner.
Okay. We'll table that till the,
Only thing is just all the stuff around the hall, but don't, nothing else.
okay, moving on to the tax request. This is our rate, which we approved in our budget, and this will be forwarded to the county. We just need to make a motion to go with the 2014 tax rebate request, tax rate request.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 214 tax rate request for the Charter Township of East China and forward it to the county.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we accept the tax rate request of 2014. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, we got the delinquent water bills, which you have before you. This is a formality that we do every year. We add these to the property taxes at the end of the year.
I'll make a motion that we put the delinquent water bills on the tax rolls.
I'll
Like we do every year.
It's been moved and supported that we add these to the property taxes, the delinquent water bills. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, we have unfinished business of the liability insurance options that we had 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you had a chance to think that over.
We will be at the historical commission meeting Wednesday night, and I've already contacted Debbie, telling her that something's gonna be in the agenda to try and figure out about how much we have in that building, cost-wise.
We're already covered for 100,000 as of that meeting.
Larry, there was one that caught my eye. It was decrease the property to deductible to 1,000 from $2,500, and it was only a $63 additional.
It's the last one.
Yeah.
It was 2,500, you reduce it to 1,000.
Well, I tell you, we really haven't used any of these. I mean, we strive not to get into that deductible.
I know it, but it's there.
I don't think we need any of these, we haven't used them before.
We probably haven't used them in years, I don't know.
And then, and like I think Clerk Cram said at our past meeting, you know, once we start turning these claims in, then they're gonna run our policy up. So, I mean, I like what Ralph said, let's try to not get into this deductible at all and keep a clean record, cause,
Well, that's okay too.
I think it means a lot to the township to not be running to, get your deductible every time.
Yeah, this,
I
if you
agree.
start turning them in, they're gonna raise your rates.
Right.
I agree, it's only $1,500 different. If you use it, you're gonna pay that in premium, so.
Right. And if it's gonna be something big, we're gonna use it for, it's not gonna. So you wanna
I'd like to make a motion that we do not exercise any of the options presented.
So you're making a motion that,
leave it like it is?
leave it like it is for 15,902?
That's correct.
I'll support that.
It's been moved and supported that we leave the liability insurance at $15,900 and not take their options that they're offering us. Any further discussions? If not, roll call, please.
Mr. Boda,
Yes.
Mr. Batsalis.
Yes.
Mr. Horn,
Yes,
Mr. Knotts.
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock.
Yes.
Mr. Simons.
Yes.
Cram, yes.
And the other thing about that, I mean, just to add a little something, they are insurance salesmen. They are trying to sell something. Okay, and next we have the resolutions. What I do is find it. I think they're right on that. What did I do with it?
I think it's in the budget package, it could be in here someplace. Way in the back.
Okay, the first resolution is adopt the 2015 budget for the general fund, capital projects fund, special revenue fund, and the debt service fund. That's resolution 11-214, 2014. I got that one here. I'll read the first one. Resolution number 11-2014, Charter Township of East China, County of St. Clair, Michigan. Minutes of the regular meeting of the Board of the Township Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of East China, County of St. Clair, Michigan, held in the Township Hall on the third day of November 2014 at 7:30 PM Eastern Standard Time. Following resolution was offered by myself. A resolution adopting the 2015 budget for the general fund, capital projects fund, special revenue fund, and debt service fund. Whereas, under the provisions of the Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act of 621 of 1978 for local units of government in Michigan, all budgets for the general fund, capital projects fund, special revenue fund, debt service fund must be adopted by the legislative body, which is the East China Charter Township Board of Trustees. And whereas the East China Charter Township Supervisor hereby submits the recommendation to adopt of the 2015 budget for the general fund, capital projects fund, special revenue fund, and the debt service fund. Copies are attached. In accordance with the Uniform Budgeting Accounting Act, PA 621 of 1978, the capital projects funds is the Township Improvement Fund, and the special revenue fund is the Building Inspector Fund Department. The debt service funds are the 1999 Water Plant Improvement Debt Fund and the 2013 Capital Improvement Fund and the 2013A Capital Improvement Fund, Debt Fund, and the 2013B Capital Improvement Debt Fund. Whereas a public hearing on the proposed 2015 budget was held in the East China Township Hall on November 3rd, 2014. Now therefore be it resolved that the above recommended 2015 general fund budget, capital projects fund budget, and special revenue fund budget, and the debt service fund budget be adopted in compliance with the State of Michigan Public Act 621 of 1978, which amends the PA 2 of 1968 entitled the Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act. I offer that.
I'll support that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Is there any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We pass resolution 2014. Next, we have, the resolution 12-2014. I guess I can read this one, it's a lot shorter. Minutes of the regular meeting of the Township Board of Trustees for Charter Township of East China, County of St. Clair, Michigan, held in the Township Hall on the third day of November 2014 at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. The following resolution was offered by myself. Resolution adopting the 2015 budget for the Township Capital Projects Fund. Whereas, under the provision of the Uniform Budgeting Act, Accounting Act of 621 of 1978 for local units of government in Michigan, the 2015 budget for the Township Capital Projects Fund must be adopted by the legislative body, which is the East China Charter Township Board of Trustees, and whereas the East China Charter Township Board Supervisor hereby submits and recommends the adoption of the 2015 Capital Projects Fund with a levy of .5213 mils in accordance with the Uniform Budgeting Accounting Act of 1978. And whereas the public hearing on the proposed 2015 budget was held at East China Charter Township Hall on November 3rd, 2014. Now therefore be it resolved that the above recommend 2015 Township Capital Projects Fund budget be adopted in compliance with the State of Michigan Public Act 621 of 1978, which amends the PA 2 of 1968 entitled the Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act. All resolutions and parts of resolutions insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution be the same hereby are rescinded.
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any further questions on resolution 12-2014? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we're moving on to announcements. Township offices will be closed November 11th, 2014 for Veterans Day. And don't forget to vote on November the 4th, 2014. Polls open at 7 to 8. And next, we'll move on to members' comments. Mr. Horn.
I just have the one, go Mariners. They're doing good. Keep going. That's all I have.
Mr. Casales?
I'm just gonna echo what Don just said, playoff run, and this is when it starts getting fun, and everybody exercise your right and get out and vote tomorrow.
Mr. Boda?
Excuse me. I'd like to see everybody get out and cash their bills tomorrow. One other thing is, last meeting, I asked you about a bill that was in the bills. It was a $300 payment to CSX Railroad. And I asked what that was. You said you would try and find out.
I did. I've done a lot of research on that. It's actually, and they're supposed to get me a little more information. When I called them at CSNX, that's an annual payment we've been making since 1980. And what it is, we have two 24-inch sewer lines that come down the north side of Recor Road, and they go underneath the old railroad right-of-way. Because I got thinking after I called them, I thought, well, we don't have a railroad, it's all bike trail. But I think they still own that piece of property from Recor Road going in onto the Edison property. And that's all I've got so far is that we still have to rent that. That's our annual fee to get permission to put that underneath there. We have a signed agreement.
Recor Road north into the Edison property, we got
What?
two sewer lines?
Recor Road, they parallel Recor Road, they come down from the sewer plant, down this way, and they go underneath the railroad right away. Railroad runs north and south.
Yeah, you're right. It's in the bridge, the old bridge is there.
That's it, you're on the south side.
Yeah, I
You
know.
got it on the north side. And we have the bike trail on the on the south side. So, we have a signed contract where we signed it
But
30
there-
years ago.
But there isn't, the railroad ends at Rico Road. It doesn't go across anymore.
Right, this is on the north side of Recor Road. That's my question to them, but it's hard to get through these people. They're supposed to have their
There-
contract people calling me, but I haven't got them. They
I
haven't
say
called
that
back.
there's no railroad on the north side of Rico Road.
Railroad actually stops over on
At
Putty
the
Hill Road.
bridge, it stops at the bridge, right?
Right.
Just on our side of the bridge.
Well, it stops back on the Edison property. We have no railroad in.
Yeah, it
in
don't
East
go all the
China.
way up to Recor Road. It stops before Recor Road.
Way back on the Edison property.
They've abandoned the right of way. Probably Keith could probably write them a little letter about that and we could have
Well,
it.
that's what I've asked, and I even, when I did the research on it, I called Keith, and I said, geez, awful funny, your name is on this too. You know? So we're still looking into that, Don. Right now, we've paid the $300, but if you do the math on that, I mean, we paid them like $9,000. It's been on every year, I mean,
It's just I haven't catch it this year.
It's pretty
yeah.
good. There's
Just
no
didn't
railroad
sound
there
right.
anymore.
well,
be an abandoned
I say,
right-of-way.
why are we paying it? But
Oh, yeah.
it sounds like they still own the property where the on the north side of Rico Road.
Yeah, but they abandoned that railroad, so
Right, if they abandoned that railroad track though, they don't own
But they
it.
own the property.
they own it, but they've abandoned the railroad.
Okay.
But more to come on that, Don, that's on my desk.
Who pays the tax on
Yeah,
that
thank
piece
you.
of property?
Maybe we might have to start charging them for their sign down here then and make up for it.
Start charging them something. Anything on the, I said you might touch base with, River Bend? About their
I talked to the fire chief quite extensively about that. He suggested that we go to a monthly billing for these, commercial people that we have, like Riverbend, some of the different places, apartment complexes where we send and they don't. What we do right now is we bill them at the end of the year and they've paid their bill at the end of last year. I mean, right now we're doing an annual billing. I really like the idea of doing a monthly or bi-monthly billing. So they don't get this big $1,000, $2,000 bill from us. We're talking about the ambulance runs, fire department runs.
Okay, that's all I have, thank you.
Dee?
I would just like everyone to go out and vote.
Herb?
I have nothing.
Ralph?
One thing that brought up by Mr. Lalonde about how we advertise, you mentioned we use the Voice. You know, that's not a paid newspaper, and not everybody gets it. I wonder why we don't use the Times Herald, because they also have a digital version. And I realize there's more expense, but
That's
that-
basically,
how do
we're
we-
required to do it in a local newspaper and we choose to use the Voice because of the expense.
it is, the Voice is considered a local newspaper, since it's, you know, it's a freebie, it's not, nobody pays for it.
Right, but everybody can have it. They will
Okay.
deliver it to
I
everybody's
just
house.
Just curious. One other thing I have, I noticed in the Planning Commission meeting minutes, that we had a problem with a permit that was issued in violation of the building line along the river. I can remember some time ago that, having a similar conversation with our building inspector, Mr. Kern, when I was on the zoning board of appeals. And it's quite clear that there is a provision in our zoning ordinance that prohibits that sort of thing. In fact, you asked for an opinion from Wade Trim and got that in writing. I was a little bit upset with memo that Mr. Kern wrote to the planning commission, and that he confused the situation with the fact that our decks required anywhere in the township, when the whole thrust of this particular one was the fact that a part of the building extended beyond the building line, which is in a different area of the zoning ordinance and quite clear. And I've always considered it part of the, it's, in my opinion, part of the job as a building inspector is he should be thoroughly familiar with our zoning ordinances in order to enforce it. And I would like to have a discussion next meeting on to whether or not we should pay or give him his portion of the building permit on when he issues one in violation of our zoning ordinance. And I'd like to have that put on the agenda for next week.
I will have our building inspector here too. Okay,
That's not the first one, Ralph.
thank you.
I have nothing else.
Okay. I'll get that on the next agenda. All right, I also would encourage everybody to vote tomorrow, and also good luck to the Mariners, which hopefully the weather will be better. Can't be any worse,
No, it won't be worse.
I hope. The other thing is, a couple quick things. We got the water tower painted on the north end, and we're putting that back in service. We're doing some flushing on it right now. We also got the Dolphin water line in, that's pretty much completed. They went back and retouched up the restoration. That seems to be going good. The other thing, we got an abundance of water leaks. We got another major leak up on the north end on 29. They're having a hard time finding it. They think it might be underneath the road. So,
I see they dug up there. They got
yeah,
another
they've been
big
digging
hole.
all day there, and we had to get the county because we needed, signage to get them. We had to shift the lanes and all that, and the county's working with us. The city of St. Clair's working with us. It's right on the property. It's right on the
Right on the
township
line.
city line.
Yep.
And 20 more feet, it would have been in St. Clair, but it's not. So that's still ongoing. Of course, we have the sewer plant. We're still working on that. And that seems to be going real well, except for our RCBs. But more to come on that. With that, I guess a motion
Larry, how
to,
about, before, the water leak in the private line? Is that done? Did we get that completed on
this is all right back in the same area.
Oh, that's right in the same area?
That's all done up there, yes. And,
Did they tie into the main sewer? Those three that were on the private line,
so it's water.
It's water.
on the water?
Water. No, they haven't yet. We're in the process of, when we get some time, we gotta get the bill together to bill those 4 residents for that. They know that it's their responsibility, but I think we're gonna have to tell them that, we've already, in 96, we sent them letters to abandon that, but they haven't all done it, so I guess we're gonna have to be more forceful and have them get off of that. Yeah, any other questions about this?
By the way, I found out how much it costs to put the name on the water tower at the north end, and I sincerely hope you did not have it put on.
I did. It was quite expensive.
Larry, any status on Point Drive?
Looks like they done.
They
Nice
still on?
job.
Point Drive Bridge is still on schedule to be done about the 22nd of November. They poured the deck on it. They're gonna start doing the restoration on the road.
A couple of people were complaining, weren't they, about the flatness of the bridge rather than having it humped?
Yeah. Not knowing, the bridge is actually, I got the elevation readings for a resident. The bridge is actually 3.5 inches higher than the old one. It was supposed to be a little higher, but during the construction, they had to spread out the, the span. It went from 44-foot span to a 54-foot span, so they had to get a little bit thicker beams. So that cut down on some of the clearance that we were gonna get. Yeah, that seems to be, I mean, it's a mess down there, and I thank you to all the residents down there. They've just been living with it and not complaining, and it's going good. So we'll get it's, when you're all tore up like that, I mean, it's just disrupts your whole life going through that mud and machinery and all that stuff.
Thanks for Hills down there, because boy, if they
Right,
weren't there,
thank
that's
you to
where they
Hills
got all
for
their
letting
materials
us use their
stored.
property, and I'm sure the contractor will make it right with them. So, with that, I guess a motion to adjourn would be in order.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn at 8:30.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we adjourn at 8:30. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.